Yes. What's good, guys? What's up, Shemaine? Y'all see me? I'm back, right? You see me?
I think I'm live.
Back
I'm
out
live
here.
now. Hey, everybody. I want to say what's up to all the pink elephants in the room. We are back. We're a little early today, guys.
Are we?
I mean,
we're a little late today, guys. We're actually really late.
We usually,
Okay.
Oh, now we're rolling? We usually film Sundays. What's up, guys?
All right, guys. So another episode of Moosh Boosh with your girl Sienna Chanel. I guess I'm gonna still go with that.
I like Sienna Chanel. And it's your girl Concrete, aka the Pink Elephant. What's good, everybody?
What's good?
Well, I was saying we're a little early because we usually film on Sundays.
Oh yeah. Ooh, you got me.
So,
You gotta bring me down a little bit. Sorry, y'all. Sorry in the world.
Yeah, mine is pretty right. Hers was loud.
Yeah, mine's right. Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
Good. So what are you saying? Yeah, we're normally on Sunday, but people want to celebrate Easter.
Easter tomorrow. So
who's celebrating Easter out there? Anybody?
Rico Chulo?
Not me.
Nah. Is it our engineers? What's good, Zuli Colin? We got to call her. I mean, we have a viewer all the way from Puerto Rico. She lives in Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. We're at in Puerto Rico. I love Puerto Rico.
Zuli, beautiful. Where are you actually in Puerto Rico? Am I loud?
No, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, Yoleni Martinez. So all my Puerto Ricans, my Boricuas, and my Dominicanos. What's good, y'all? I appreciate y'all.
Word. Do you like all of that? That stuff is sounds cute. I like how you say it. You got a little accent on there when you say it.
I think that's for my little some of my closest friends are Puerto Rican and Dominican. Yeah.
My friends on here are talking about not celebrating Easter. I asked her some people celebrate Easter. Said nah.
Is anybody out there celebrating Easter? I'm not, actually.
What does Easter mean? What is Easter?
Easter was the day that Jesus Christ rose from the dead, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the day that Jesus Christ rose from the dead. Mm-hmm. So a lot of Christians and Catholics usually celebrate Easter. And I think some Israelites as well. They celebrate Easter as well.
Is that right?
I was going to interview them as like a...
oh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, big interview. And they actually were inviting me to... their feast on Easter and how they worship. And I was really excited to see that's culture.
Interesting. Yeah. Have you watched Unorthodox yet on Netflix?
I have
Girl,
not.
You gotta watch it. Have y'all watched this yet?
Never even heard of it, I don't think.
Watch Unorthodox on Netflix. It's very, very good. It's about basically I don't like to give shows away, but the overall idea is it's about a woman who denounces her Hasidic roots. So she leaves the Hasidic Jewish group. Yeah.
That is interesting.
It's really good. It's very good. Watch
I read some really great articles about that. I became intrigued by it because I think I was reading up so many religions, and some of them felt a little cultish. Yeah. And that religion, the Hasidic Jews, felt a little cultish because I feel like only a certain sector of people can be a part of that group. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And any religion to me that anyone is not welcome to worship with you or understand or even become a part of that group, to me, I find that to be a little cultish, and that shouldn't be of God. I don't know.
I know
it's touchy.
No, I get that. That's interesting because in some ways I admire the Hasidic Jews. Absolutely. Because they stay true to their people.
Yes.
They provide for their people.
Yes.
They follow their own rules. They got their own little situation in the midst of all of this. You know what I'm saying? So, and they still, they educate their children. They, you know what I mean? The clothes, everything they provided for themselves. So I appreciate that because I think that's what, Black Americans or Black people in the world should be trying to focus on.
Great.
So I think in that respect, it makes sense. There's like a level of, some of the things, the practices are interesting and extreme to me.
Absolutely.
But, outside of that, it's like, I see what they're doing. I had a very interesting conversation with a Hasidic Jew at Hershey Park years ago. I said that I did admire their people for how they're able to stick together, what I'm saying, and stay within their community and all of that. And he told me it takes a lot of discipline and sacrifice.
I was going to say discipline.
Yep, he said it takes a lot of discipline and sacrifice. And I said, I wish that my people would get the same understanding. And he said it would be beneficial for them to do so. And I said, right. So I think that's something that we should be trying to mimic in some ways, honestly.
100% agree. 100%. Oh, there we go.
See, that's
I'm
how
on
I
popping
felt.
now. Okay,
right.
Here I go. hello world.
Right.
Yeah, no, those are all the things that I admire as well. The ability to be able to stick together for a common goal, a bigger goal for generational wealth.
Right.
But you said the word was discipline. And that's why.
And sacrifice.
Yeah. And that, to me, incorporates with everything, just as far as life is concerned, even in relationships. If you're disciplined, and it's a lot of patience.
Yep. And if you sacrifice.
And sacrifice. There you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, I agree with you on that. Very interesting.
Yeah, right.
Very interesting. That's why I was interested to go sit with the Israelites. Like, I like to know. I'm a seeker. I want to seek the truth. I want to seek the understanding, because at the end of the day, every religion has some type of beauty in it that I admire out of it.
Absolutely.
And a lot of it has to do with the discipline.
And it's interesting because a lot of the conversation that I've been having within the last 2 days has been about Christianity and African, like its African origins.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it always puts me in a crossroad when I think about like African religion and African spirituality, because ultimately all of the religions, they all are made to control in terms of culture. Like, they make it look like, so Christianity is white. We know the Indians got the Hindus, the Asians have the Buddhists. Like, they all look like whatever their God is that they worship.
Right.
We, on the other hand, don't have that. And specifically, I mean, generally speaking, it exists. But as a group, we don't all follow the same, like, gods that look black. We don't do that.
Right.
So on one side of it, to me, it makes sense to do that, because we need, uniformity. We need community. We need to understand that and respect the origin of all of these other Western and Eastern philosophies, because they all came from the original. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it bothers me because it's all about, like, this shit all boils down to a record of the stars and and understanding, like, nature and yeah, like all of the most basic things. That's really what it's about. But we have to attach this human, like, vibe to it. So there, it's beneficial for us to do some African spirituality vibe. But on the other side, it makes me feel like, damn, we about to be doing the same thing, trying to control based on religion but I don't know.
I think as far as when it goes back to, and I know these topics get a little touchy, but when it goes back to God giving us free will. So whatever, I find wisdom in everything that I read when I'm just searching and seeking for the truth. I find some really great passages and power in the Quran. Yeah. I found some great passages and things that I could connect to in the Bible. Absolutely. I found some great things in the Torah when I study Buddhism, just the way that they are able to concentrate and
Buddhism makes it most plain to me.
Yes.
Out of everything, it makes it the most in terms of, like, the utilization of your personal thought and energy is what will get you a connection to God.
But it all goes back down to, and every text is basically like that, because it says it starts with the renewal of your mind. And in every text is like that. So if you renew your mind to be on a better path, you're following that religion. Religion is basically something that you do repetitiously over and over. And that's why the thing that I find powerful about Islam, when you look at Mecca or even Saudi Arabia or whatever, Morocco, any Islamic country, Thailand even has a lot of Muslims. And at one time, the entire country prays. So it's like silence. That's powerful to have that type of discipline. For everybody at once, like, nothing else matters. This material, this job, this making money, we're going to go, one common goal, we're going to sit down here and we're going to thank this higher power. That is beautiful to me. So I get something out of that. It's that discipline. Then I go somewhere else with the Christianity, where it's not like, I don't have to dress a certain way to be closer to God. I don't have to come. So it's your free will and how you think and how you connect to God, because I feel like a lot of people know religion. You can meet somebody that knows scripture, but they don't know God. They'll go to church and then come out and be complaining about everything. Like, didn't you just leave church? And the God that you serve said that everything's going to be okay. He didn't say it was going to be easy, but now your faith is out the door. Okay, so yeah.
But I mean, in a sense of like a political sense for Black people, like we have to. I mean, I just feel like we're in a specific space where we have to completely like join together. The conversation. I don't know if you guys watched Diddy's like state of emergency situation.
I didn't.
When he had like Angela Rye and Killer Mike and a whole host of other people. AOC was on there and Van Jones and Al Sharpton. He spoke to so many people and. Diddy was really trying to get us to get to the nitty gritty about what we need to do for our community because, as you see, I'm sure everybody's been saying that, who has the highest number of deaths now based on this coronavirus shit? Us, Black people.
That's what they're saying.
Speaking. That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying.
But
some
let's
other statistics, some other statistics just came out and it was saying white folks.
But let's think about it. Regardless of even if it ain't true, not one of us should be dying. We don't have no room for Black people to be falling off the face of the earth
for sure
for some bullshit like coronavirus. Like we really don't have the room. So whether it's us or not, it doesn't matter. We need to come together and understand that this is an attack on our immune system.
Yes.
So we have to do the things that deal with our pre-existing conditions and deal with how we're not taking care of our bodies on a general basis.
Absolutely.
So when things like this come up, we're able to take care of ourselves as a community. So regardless if we're number 1 or number 15 and how many people are dying, we have to take care of ourselves better. And this is what it sheds a light on, that we have a whole host of pre-existing conditions that have to do with systemic racism and so on and so forth. So there's like a conversation that has to happen about Black people, our code of conduct, and what it is that we want for our lives moving forward after this whole COVID-19 or whatever the fuck it is.
Right.
It's just time to look in a different direction as a people. You know what I'm saying?
No, and I totally agree with that. And the thing that kind of disheartens me sometimes is that the information is out there and how we should be eating. Like we're not slaves anymore. We don't have to eat pig feet and chitlins.
Exactly.
Like massa is not. We're not outside and picking cotton, and massa is throwing us the leftovers from the pig and all that shit. We do not have to eat like that. It is your choice. Yes, some things are a little bit more expensive, but put down something that doesn't really listen. Instead of getting tips on your nails, just get a regular manicure or something. Sacrifice something for your health. One thing that my grandmother always taught me when I was younger, she was like, I don't care what you put as far as clothes on your body, but what you ingest in your body, that's what you're going to spend some money on. She's been telling me that since I've been 7.
But see, what you're saying is a very different conversation. It's a blessing that you had somebody expressing that to you, because even though I wasn't raised in some type of ridiculous or illegitimate or very traumatic type of household, nobody was expressing to me about how food was supposed to be eaten in that way. So most of the time growing up, especially if you're a child that your parent worked several jobs or they weren't home or they weren't around or whatever it is, you eat whatever the hell was there. And it mostly was garbage and snacks and fast food and pizza and buffalo wings and chicken shack. And this is what most people eat. I mean, I'm going to say for our community, unless you have somebody that is doing that. So that's a blessing. Yeah. Like this is most of the knowledge that I have about what to eat and how to eat is from my own personal discovery as I've grown up. You know what I'm saying? And wanted better things for my life. And I still, like we talked about this on this show before, I still have people in my family that are so severely morbidly obese to this day because of not being able to get a grip on that type of conversation about what they're supposed to ingest in their body. But in terms of it shedding a light on the systemic racism is the part of us being in food deserts. Places like that, like our communities being in food deserts where there aren't fresh fruits and vegetables that are accessible, or the things that you putting in our grocery store is the lower quality or the least the last stuff with the expiration date on it. Like that, those are the conversations that are happening.
Well, that's why when I did have when I interviewed Rizza Islam last year, that's what he was talking about, and he left up some information. I'm gonna go dig in the crates, and I'll probably ask one of my old partners, where I interviewed him, that there are Black-owned farms and where we can actually order food. We just have to get together.
We gotta do this.
We have to really, We have to really do this. And again, the information is everywhere. Just be a support system to one another. I have some people out there. Hey, I want to say hi to Curtis Gordon. He's actually calling all the way from South America, from Guyana. Brother Malik Turner Jones. He said, speak on it. Lavette Drake said, we have to go to the doctor and eat better and support each other in our mental and physical. And then John Jones said, sad we find money to save the economy, but what about the water in Flint, Michigan?
Exactly. And this is another conversation we want to talk about. Okay, again, maybe we're not the ones that are dying the most. But again, if we have a whole group of people that have been poisoned for however many years in the water, and we found out that in most of our urban communities, which is something that we already knew, it was lead in all of that water too. Sure. So now we are, again, another pre-existing condition due to systemic racism. And now we're going to have to be hit with COVID-19. So like, this is why. So it doesn't matter if we're the main ones or we're just a percentage. The fact of the matter is that we need to get all of this shit together for our community to continue to thrive. And that's the main phrase I'm hearing over and over again is, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Right. So that's what it is. It's like we now, okay, let's get through COVID-19 this time. Right. Let's survive this shit right here. Yeah. But next go round, is it supposed to come back, or is something else going to come back? We need to be prepared. I believe in 10 years, 2030. As a community, we need to be prepared. So it's never on some like, oh, we don't know. No, we in shape. We're ready. We are warriors. This is our planet. So we're going to have to do the things that's necessary to utilize the information and all of the shit that is here for us to survive. Like, we can't allow these people to continue to infiltrate our communities any longer. It's like it's an attack on us. So we just gotta stay focused.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not a coincidence that when you're in the urban, in urban communities or in the urban inner city, that you could go to any piece of shit fast food restaurant, walking distance.
All of it.
Okay. And of course, we know the old saying in the suburbs, you have to basically drive to a fast food restaurant.
Exactly.
But we have to hold each other accountable. I mean, and it's no time for feelings, because guess what, people? Feelings are not facts. Like I said, feelings are not facts. So if I come to you and I say, hey, you really eating that pork chop, or you eating mad bacon, let me tell you something. Cut it down. You don't have to have a piece of meat every single day with every meal that you have. Substitute it for some seafood. Substitute it with nothing but vegetables. Make potatoes and cheese, broccoli, whatever, however you want to spruce it up. Just, switch it up. Anything you do in excess is going to harm you in some type of way. And unfortunately, we're the ones that is affected by high blood pressure.
That's what
White people do not have high blood pressure the way Black people do. And also understand your options and study things. When you go to the doctor, remember, unfortunately, the doctor's oath is to treat the patient, not cure them. And a lot of times you go to the doctor and they're not telling you what alternatives you can have before they put you on medication. Because they make deals with these pharmaceutical companies. And understand, I've been in the medical industry for over 20 years. I read all the paperwork. I'm the one that have to appeal things and everything. And I help somebody. Okay, let me just give something raw to the men that's listening out here, to our Black men that's suffering from high blood pressure. Listen to what I'm saying right now, and I'm going to talk to you really raw when it comes to high blood pressure.
Think of somebody in particular. I want him to listen.
I with high blood pressure. All right. So what they do is you go to the doctor and they say you have high blood pressure. You're eating a lot of things with sodium, salt, just things that are overly saturated, whatever. The first thing they want to do is put you on some blood pressure medication. When the first thing that they should be telling you, and I help heal somebody. So listen to what I'm saying, Black men, because it's affecting you. Okay? So once they put you on this medication before giving you the alternative, guess what's going to happen? Your dick is not going to work that well from this medication. Understand what I am saying. I'm not going to say it all politically correct. Your dick is not going to work well. They're going to put you on this medication, and maybe your blood pressure may go down, but guess what? You're going to be impotent. You're going to be having pre-ejaculation, okay? You're going to be semi-hard. You're not going to be fully erected. Understand that? So what you can do first is lose 10 pounds.
Right.
Eat lots of vegetables. If you don't like the texture of vegetable, put it in the blender. Put some strawberries, apples in there. Just get it in. Spinach, kale, broccoli.
Why don't we get this idea that food is medicine? Why don't we get that yet?
I don't understand.
People? Like, I don't understand. That's who we are to our core.
Absolutely.
Like, to our core and to our essence. We come from this planet. So all the stuff that it provides is what we're supposed to take and ingest. I don't understand why we don't get that yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand, because I know I understand the palate. Yes. I feel like we just have been so conditioned to go along with our sense desires, you know what I'm saying? And just going along with that as opposed to, remember the episode with Martin and Gina when he said, you don't live to eat, Gina, you eat to live, you know what I'm saying? Like you got, it's not about that. It's not about that. And those things end up tasting better to you as you go on. I feel like that's a part of it. Yes.
How many trees do you see growing up in your community? How many trees, how many big parks, how many like places have you been in? Have you been around that you would go, you see berries, fruits, animals?
No, we don't see that here.
Well, not really in America.
Not. I mean, it's particularly in an urban. I mean, particularly in an urban, like a concrete jungle where we live is different. Yeah. We have trees and grass.
Yeah, like in Florida, they grow fruit.
But yeah, there's like different spaces, where you can have a whole damn farm or it's just fruit that grow off the trees and stuff.
For sure.
Like,
Even in Pennsylvania where you have the Amish. And the Amish grows everything. They grow all of their food. They milk their own cows. They, have their own farm. For
discipline and sacrifice.
Discipline and sacrifice. And when we go there for tourism, basically, I have some girlfriends that go up there just to buy their turkeys because they're all, I don't know if the right word I'm using for their culture, but it's like kosher. Mm-hmm. Everything is freshly farm raised. The chicken don't look like they've been shot up with steroids 50 million times. It ain't no big old chicken leg just looking like a damn dinosaur leg.
Exactly.
You understand? It's real chicken. And I think that's why we could just get so deep on this with the GMOs and a lot of stuff is culture. How many times did your parents tell you, you better not leave up off that table before you eat all your food?
Yeah, exactly.
I am full.
But it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Because that's that poor slave mentality.
So many mentalities that we hold on to. And that's why it's so great. I'm grateful that we started a conversation about like Easter and Christianity and all of that because this stuff is deeply embedded in us.
Absolutely.
And
as tradition.
Exactly. Yeah. And a person that I listen to, a lecturer I listen to, she suggests that we do most of our work in trying to free up our ancestors from this bondage of Christianity.
Girls,
you know what I'm saying? So which means we too should not be practicing this type of idea of Christianity. Like if anything, we need to understand the African roots of Christianity if you're going to do that. If anything, if you have to deal with idolatry because it's all that.
But listen,
you know what I'm saying? Then pick the purest.
I'm so glad you touched on that part because even with African heritage, we're supposed to eat different.
Yeah.
We were taught by Europeans. Oh, excuse me. We were taught by Europeans how to eat. Yeah. Do you understand the FDA is connected to the elites? So growing up, they told us about the 4 food groups, which is false.
The pyramid and all of that bullshit.
Right. The dairy. As Black folks, we're not supposed to even eat dairy like that. We can have a little as a treat. Because our immune system is so amazing, it'll break a little bit of the treat down if you're a little naughty. That's what it's built for. But we don't even respect our bodies. We abuse our bodies every single day. We're drinking bullshit. We're eating soda. We're taking sugar. What does sugar do? Break down the fucking immune system, okay?
Exactly.
What did Chris Rock say? Who was it? Chris Rock? He said, you know what the biggest, I think it was Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, what did he say?
He said, you know what kills most Black people? He said, regular ass salt, nigga.
Exactly. No, it's true.
And it's true.
It's true.
It's not gun violence. It's salt and sugar.
It's us just, not having self-control after a while. And then all of these things also have chemicals and additives and just its properties alone are there for addictive purposes as well. It releases all types of, what is it called? Like not morphines, but like some sort of something in your body that makes you feel happy or makes you feel better. Endorphins. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you. That make you feel this way. So when you start to separate yourself from these things or even to consider it, it makes you feel like, you're losing a good friend. So it's difficult. It's difficult for people.
Oh, it is. Listen, we were talking about that the other day. People think that because we're not morbidly obese, we're not addicted to food. I am addicted to food.
Absolutely.
Okay, I can be full and be like, I just want this taste on my tongue.
Keep eating it no matter what.
And that's what is that? That's gluttony.
Absolutely.
Greed.
Absolutely.
Like, why are you eating like this? It's a sign of depression, actually.
Sense gratification.
Because it's not sense gratification. It's not normal. Your body is telling you, I'm done. And you're like, screw you, body. I don't care what you're telling me. Exactly. I'm going to eat past capacity. All right? You're going to take this.
Yep.
Like, we're selfish and grateful to our own bodies if you look at it like that. I'm just going to shout out a couple of people. Yoleni Martinez. Hey, ¿qué pasa? Oh, Zuli says she's from the south side of Puerto Rico. Hola. Again, okay, Lavette Drake. We got Carol all the way from Arizona. Yeah, we got some people. We got Rock all the way in Florida. John Jones, what's good, baby? And yeah, and Melody, what's good, baby mama?
Let me say what's up to my people over here. Nathaniel, what's good? Sean Purefoy, what's good? Joanza, how are you, Nathaniel? Katrina says, sugar messed me up. I had to stop eating it. Been years now. I'm grateful that you're able to do that, sister. Catherine Ramos, tits from the bricks, what's good? Miss Tucson, how are you? Fax Jefferson, Kithia Griffins. Shouts out to everybody in the building. What are your standards for eating? Nathaniel Legacy said. Or Legay, sorry. What are your standards for eating?
I just think that it's portion control. We don't, even if you eat a meal that adds up, let's say it's one big plate, but throughout the day, you're allowing your body to digest the food properly, break it down, give it time. We what is it? Our digestive system, we overwork it. It's not intended to work the way we overwork it. It wants to do what it's doing. Some of you guys are eating and not shitting for a couple of days.
Right. What's up, yes? Katrina says our bodies take 20 minutes to catch up to feeling full. People eat to feel full, therefore overeating. Yeah, that's always a thing they tell you to slow down when you eat because it does take your brain about 15 to 20 minutes, your body to register that, you know what I'm saying, you're full. So after the fact, it's like you already stuffed because you kept indulging and kept eating.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna say this, right? I think just like a religion type of vibe, it's not a one size fits all when it comes to diet and what it is that's going to be best for your personal lifestyle.
For sure.
So what I will always say, I'm always going to start people with eat right for your type. Try to find out your blood type and figure out and start from there. And then you can figure out what's best for you because some people just cannot tolerate eating meat. And that's totally understandable. I understand that. But I still think that you should at least try to figure out something that is a little bit more based on you in a more personal way.
100%.
As opposed to just like, everybody eats like this. Everybody is a vegan. Everybody eats high protein, low carbs.
Totally agree.
Everybody eats 6 meals a day. Everybody only eats through this hours. Like that doesn't work for everybody.
No,
just like everybody eat 3 meals a day doesn't work for everybody.
That's overeating for me, actually, when I eat 3 meals a day. However,
but some people eat 6 meals a day. And when you're trying to speed up your metabolism, if you eat 6 small meals a day, you do speed up your metabolism and burn fat.
When you have a goal, when you're reaching something, when you know how to manipulate your body to do certain things, that's different. But just like when somebody asked me when I first lost weight, because for people who don't know, I'm going to find this picture too. I had gained like 40-something pounds of my...
Exactly. Thank you. That's all you ever have to say to a woman ever.
There you go, young king.
You never have to make a face. You never have to do anything other than whatever makes you say that.
I just took that
things will work.
That's a little mic. That's a little mic.
Oh, no, I know. Come on.
Why I made that face.
Come on.
All right, ladies.
All right, good.
All right. Hey, guys, we're back with a little technical difficulty, but you know what I'm saying. You cannot rush greatness. Things happen sometimes. But I know, Sienna, you had something you wanted to talk about.
I forgot.
Oh, my gosh.
I told you I would. No, we were talking
Being a stoner.
I know, for real. We were talking about men, particularly black men, particularly not going to the doctor.
Right.
And you were saying that the women do, though, like most of us do. And I feel like for the most part too. My mom is a tough cookie about not going to the doctor. I have to it has to really be something wrong for her to go. She doesn't do like general checkups. Okay. I'm more of a checkup person. Yeah. But my mom is not. But a friend of mine wrote a post just recently, and I wish I had written it down, but she was basically saying like, it's definitely time for black men to get on this spiritual understanding and like connection to themselves and God and all of that because the women are doing that work.
Yes, we are.
And it would be a shame or we don't want to like elevate without y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so say that.
That's what made me think of what you said about the doctor because it's the same scenario. Like we already technically outlive y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I would have to say, generally speaking, it has to go with what you said about going to the doctor, taking care of ourselves or at least paying attention to that thing. Also like crying, releasing energy and stuff because I feel like with most black men that are in my family, they are extremely high strung.
Oh yeah,
tons of anxiety.
Yes,
very like been through so many like traumatic situations in their lives. You know what I'm saying? But they never released this. My stepfather, my father, they would never go to therapy. I'm always saying like you need to talk this out. They don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? But yet and still, Exactly.
Right,
You ain't talking about, I ain't about to talk
right.
what, you know what I mean? Like, but you want to talk to me. I got to sit there and be the damn counselor between.
And then
you know
it goes back to, and I'm
It's
sorry.
true.
No, I'm not sorry. But even when it goes back to sex, a lot of guys will be having, like, they'll have frustration. Like you said, we're doing the work to become more spiritual.
Yeah.
We're God
connected.
we're connected, you know, and then with all their frustration, they want to call on a queen and try to release sexually their frustrations on you. So now when they're ejaculating, now when they're coming with all their frustrations on you.
And what is that funky spunk? Who wants that? Who wants funky spunk?
Nobody wants funky spunk. No. And energy is transferable. And I don't want all of your stressed out, high strung, depressed energy. You know what I'm saying? You got to get that together before, because I recognize it. And yeah, it just all connects to mind, body, soul, spirit.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all one. You have to take care of everything or you're not going to be balanced.
That's what Katrina Williams here
go to the doctors.
On my Facebook is saying. Our men are catching on. Some of them are sharing, learning, uplifting, and changing. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Tremendously. And I think that, you know, that was one of my goals with No Peace, No Pussy all the time, was that, you know, if we set the precedent and say, like, this is what is going to take to be within my presence and to be within my, you know, personal womb space and all of that, that if you're not doing these things, then then you can't be around me.
That's
it. It has to be those type of things. Eating well. That's it. Right. Thank you.
That's the word.
You hit the gavel on that one. You know what I'm saying? It's true though. Like we have to take care of ourselves. We eat well. We, you know, work out. Oh, we drink water. Oh, we gotta make sure that. So you need to do the damn thing. You can't be smoking hella Black and Milds and eating trash and all of that. And you want me to be sucking and fucking all over you?
No.
Nah. Like,
no, it's just not.
Why?
Especially when we're
Why
putting the work in. We're putting the work in to live a better life, to think better, to walk better, to talk better, to, you know, we're just being more observant.
I was told over here that women are socialized to go to the doctor's office. I don't know about that, but
socialized to go to the doctor's office. I don't know. What does that mean, actually?
I don't know. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It makes anything I don't understand, I take as disrespect. So I just took it as like, fuck you mean? We were socialized. You know?
Right. I can't say that women.
Fuck you mean?
Right.
No, that's how I felt instantly. Socialized.
I do think that parents, moms, always tell the daughters how important it is to go to the doctors. Maybe more. Women may coddle their sons in different ways than they do with their daughters. However, women are on top of their daughters about going to the doctors for the number one reason when we start having sex.
Yeah,
like go to the doctors, go to the doctors, go to the doctors, which is more spoken to for the girls and more so the sons. They might tell their sons, but not like they're on top of it.
I feel, and I have to say, and this is just my truth. I can't speak for anybody else's truth. Nobody talked to me about anything. All my gynecological experience has been off of me becoming a woman and an adult and understanding and going on my own. Nobody talk to me about those things. So again, that's a blessing if you have people in your life that are prompting you to go. Again, I just knew that I needed to go, or something might have been wrong and I decided to go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like those are the reasons, and that's the shameful part about our. I can't even just put this on Black people, because I really feel like that's just a thing, specifically talking about like sex now. I feel like that's just a thing that we just as humans sometimes don't talk to children or younger people about. And that's just a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm with you. My mom didn't actually say you have to go to the doctor. There's a lot of things I learned on my own. But I do remember always going to the doctors. My mom being
but our parents, like growing up, my mother always took me to the doctor. But I take my son to the doctor. You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying overall, from what I hear from girls that have like kids with daughters and boys, and just from seeing things myself, the girls get talked to more, especially because of sex reasons. Even if it's not for anything else, for health reasons, as far as the way you eat and nutrition, it's more so they start to fuck up. You better go to the gynecologist, go to the doctors or whatever. I
don't know about the socialized.
I think maybe the girls just want it more than the guys. The girls.
I think it's just I feel like we're just not punks. Keep it all the way 100. Like, if something's wrong, I want to know. Like, I want to make sure I'm good. I'm not about to be walking around here with a big ass lump on my back and shit falling off or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many men and boys do you know they'll fuck up? I got whole brothers, uncles, fathers, everybody, their fingers broken, shit fucked up, and they just never went.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's they're just you do. That's the toxic masculinity.
That's toxic
masculinity. Them understanding that it doesn't make you weak because you broke your fucking finger and you need to go get it fixed. Nah, it's you know what I'm saying? Doesn't make you weak if it hurts and you express pain. Like that's okay because we understand pain. Like
absolutely.
It's nothing. You're not being sensitive in that way.
I think women have more of a high tolerance.
What it is. Yeah, we do. You know what I'm saying? We'll just, for me, it's like, if this shit is lopsided, I'm going. You know what I'm saying? This is not right. I can't fix it. Somebody else got to fix it. That's this it. Don't look right. Let's get it done.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's more like, let's get shit done. Men are like, I can still move. I can still go to work. I'll use the other hand.
What's that? Really mad at us? Because I feel like we were never taught to show pain. I was, as a man, as a black man, I was never taught to show pain.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's not about being mad at y'all.
No, it's just not wrong. It's not saying evolving. You're wrong.
Right, yeah, no.
It's recognizing certain things. Listen, if you are taught, if somebody was raised to be Christian or raised to be Muslim or raised to be Jewish, they're probably going to be conditioned to believe that way. So with black men, especially men of color, brown, whatever, Hispanic, Dominican, black, okay? They're taught that if you show any sign of emotion, you're a bitch. Yeah, that's gay.
Punk, you gay.
You're gay. You a punk.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
soft, right?
Soft. So no man wants to grow up with that type of stigma because you want to be masculine.
Exactly.
And guess what? I want you to be masculine. Let's not get it fucked up. I can't deal with no soft ass man. I like a masculine man.
But soft. But doesn't mean like...
No, I'm talking about soft. I'm not talking about showing emotion.
Exactly.
If you're an overly emotional man, I can't deal with you. You have to have self-control as well. Exactly. But I don't want you to never not show emotion. Then I know there's some underlying issues and I need to back off a little bit and be like, what's going on with you, with your childhood, with your relationship like your mama, with your relationship like your dad? Because you're going through all these traumatic situations. You never cry once. That's what's wrong with a lot of men. They have to release.
They have to release. That's what I feel like.
You have to cry sometimes. It's okay.
I have a family member that had like a serious case of colon cancer. And I mean, he survived. But at the same time, I used to tell him all the time, this is your backed up shit. Literally.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that's what it is. It's your backed up shit. And you got to let it go. Like, this is why this has accumulated in your body.
Absolutely.
It's literally like all of the garbage that you put in your body and then all of the pain and everything that you held on to balled up into a mass, which becomes a tumor.
Right.
And that's what cancer is.
100%.
So we have to release this shit. You gotta let it go.
100%.
We have to. Yeah.
And it grows and it grows and it grows. And if you don't, and that's why you're walking around angry. That's why you're walking around miserable, blaming everybody for stuff because you're letting all of that build up. I don't care how well you eat. If you have not released those toxins, okay, they're going to spew out in different ways. Either it's even in your skin. Yeah. You start to look older. Okay. You don't look like you have that glow, that pop anymore. You have to release, man. And I can sit around a man that hasn't released. It's a different, and holding on to not releasing. That's the worst kind.
That's what it is. That's a lot of the elders right there. A lot of the elders. A lot of our elders right there dealing with that. Let me say this real quick because somebody said
after you said
my mom taught me a lot about womanhood. The more I shared that, the more I learned a lot of people didn't have that. My friend Kimberly says, my mother just said you ain't having no babies in my house to me and my sibling, LOL. There was never a sex talk, shaking my head. Right. And that's mostly what we all got. Yeah. And then she says that we are more in tune with our bodies than men. And that's definite. We don't have a choice in that respect just based on, how our system works.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's also a part of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. So Pretty Brown said they don't go to the doctor because a lot of them don't have insurance. That's true.
Right.
She said, I think it's because Lisa Hughes Russell said, I think it's because us people aren't really educated on economics. Somebody says sea moss is amazing. Edelberry. They said Rockbird said the milk and the milk, cheese, and eggs. We got to chill out with that.
Amen.
And then he said, I don't cry or I haven't cried in a while. Knock on wood. You may need to release, baby. Yeah. You may need to release.
It just feels so good.
It
like
does
when
feel
you're
good.
finished.
You can breathe better.
When you finish, you literally
even
are
your
like
face glows.
It's like you feel everything released from your body when you're done. And I know that may feel so wimpy for men, but it's just like it's a release that if you feel that way, you should really let it go. You got to get those good hard down cries.
Oh my
gosh.
On the
floor sometimes.
Have you ever cried and don't even have a specific reason as to why you're crying, but you just cried?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the best though. It is worse, but you don't need to know everything all the time. When your body needs to do something, and even if it's emotional, it just has to be done. And let me tell you, when you're done and you wash your face, I feel like everything just glows.
Yeah, because
it's like
it's a cleansing.
It is a cleansing.
Cleansing.
It is a cleansing. And some of you guys out there, and it doesn't have to necessarily be in front of somebody, but especially a lot of you like urban men that are grew up in the hood or whatever. You guys have witnessed so much
trauma on top of trauma.
Just about every man I know be like, oh, I saw a dead body. My boy got killed in front of me. I held my man in. That is not normal.
Nope. That's traumatic experiences.
That is traumatic. And a lot of y'all have PTSD. You deal with a chick that's kind of normal. You're either argumentative or you're insecure. Or you're doing this, and it's because of so much that you've been through, and you have not released. There is nothing. Let me tell you something. My son, kind of me and his dad might talk to him a certain way because his dad is a masculine man, right? And then they're like, no, Mom, because I'm not going to cry because I'm all right. Because I'm a young man. And I was like, what?
Right.
What does a young man have to do? I was like, don't you have tear ducts?
Right.
Didn't God give you tears? He didn't give you tears for no reason, just to hold them in. If you got to go in your room and even throw something on the wall, you are human.
And it's so hard.
It's okay.
Doesn't it put you in such a sticky place as a mother? Because you do understand why toxic masculinity is taught in our world. Because to an extent, going out into the world, he's gonna have to be able to put on these airs and whatever, because that's the way the rest of the world is, generally speaking. So it's like, it's always a hard place because you want to like teach your child, your male son specifically, to be like, masculine and have machismo and all this type of stuff to an extent. But at the same time, it's like, you don't want them to get so egotistical in it that now it becomes like, I don't know, crimes against humanity, like you see now anyway.
We have to teach them some sort of balance.
It's a balance. Yeah, it's a hard balance.
Because
this is the difficulty of being a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this
sometimes
is
I feel like
a difficult thing that you guys have to do.
Like my brothers told me, you got to stop babying him so much. And I said, oh, no.
I didn't know it was dying. Go ahead, keep going.
Okay. My brothers would tell me, don't baby him and don't do this. But I'm like, all I know how to do is be a mom. Exactly. That's what the dad is for.
Exactly.
So moms baby a little bit. That masculine shit, that's for them to do.
Exactly.
I know how to be a loving female, what is it? A masculine, feminine woman.
Yeah.
That's the type of mother I am. Right. I don't want to take on, you have to use my masculine energy. Yeah, absolutely. So don't tell me what I'm being too much of. I'm being too much of a mom, and that's where I come in. I come in with the nurturing, and his dad does all that masculine stuff. But yes, we do see how toxic masculinity can be taught, and toxic. I think is the word, right? Once I dig deeper, I think it's the word. And when I come to the defense of a lot of men, it's that word toxic, like when you were saying before, right? And because a lot of them don't even know it's toxic,
right? Yeah,
it seems like it's such a hard word,
and it's because it's the way of the world.
It is the way of the world.
It's the way of the world. So when you start to put those words on things that are so normal, it becomes like, what are you talking about? This is what men do. This is who we are. And it's like, that doesn't make the shit wrong. You know what I mean? Or correct, rather. It doesn't make it like this is okay for you to do just because this is what we've always done. Right. That doesn't excuse it. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it is. It's when you're like forcing this idea of what masculine is in a way that is detrimental to the human. You know what I'm saying?
I also feel like women shouldn't be the ones telling a man how not to be, like what toxic masculinity is all the time. I think that should come from another man that understands it.
It would be beneficial if it did, and if they know.
Because I think it's like, I don't want to say taboo, but what experience do we have? We could say if we're on the receiving end of some of it, and we could talk about it. But as far as teaching them, because I don't want them to lose it all, because I want to be clear about some things too. Some of us women, we want men to think like women, okay? And there's a line. That's why I get we really do. We'll get with the man, and instead of understanding the man's mind and realizing that we do think differently, we try to make them think like us. But me and I and blah, 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 blah. It's like, you can't have a man think like you. You want them to be more understanding, right? And be more compassionate. But I don't want the man to be like, sometimes women have it effed up. They got to study a man a little bit more and understand that it's just some ways that they're going to be. And it's if you can tolerate that part of their masculinity or something. Because I just see some women just like, down to the way the clothes are being made different. Just everything is just like, emasculating our men. Sometimes I feel like that, and that's why I'd rather it come from a brother that's more balanced, talking to the brothers. I think it sounds better.
And that's
the example of
that would be ideal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so what that means, it goes right back to that conversation that we started earlier about how it's important that we don't elevate before you all. So the men that are having this great understanding of the balance and respecting both masculine and feminine energy and all of that, it would be ideal for them to be the ones to do that teaching and rearing up. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because it would be beneficial for the women to do that for us. Then the difficult part is actually finding a male that has not been influenced by his ego and the societal toxic masculinity that surfaces all the time. Yeah. So that's where it lies, because we understand nobody's perfect, of course, but in terms of really teaching our brothers exactly what it means to be a black man and how to cherish yourself and your relationship with women or feminine energy is something that is rare, very rare to find. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, a lot of our women were forced to use our masculine energy.
Exactly.
We don't want to.
On top of that,
I like being soft. I like having a little, pizzazz, but I don't want to have to lead with that all the time.
Exactly.
Because if you're nice to someone, they already think that you want to get in their drawers or something like that. So now I gotta toughen up. No, I need my partner to take care of that part, please. I want to be soft and I want to be sensitive and I want to be pretty and intelligent and be a boss in my own right. I don't want to have to be the nigga or the man or the king. Okay? I hear women around talking about some king B and king. You are not a king. I don't want to be a king. The thing is, this is another thing. When we don't understand our roles, everybody got to play their position. There is a position everybody got to play. And I don't want to play on your side as a man. I don't want to play on your side. So what I mean by position is when women start calling themselves kings, the queen and the king's position is just as important.
Absolutely.
It's just different genders. Exactly. So stop trying to be something that you're not, because you're giving it more power. Exactly. You're saying I'm a king because you feel like the king holds more weight than a woman, than a queen. And that is not true. And that's where we start. Little shit like that gets on my fucking nerves. Play your position.
These are women that are just as susceptible to these false ideas of toxic masculinity. Again, they fed right into it. Exactly what you just said is an example of how women feed directly into it by having a conception that a king is greater than a queen, when we both know that it's not. But there is, no matter how you try to slice it in terms of society, there's always this idea of that it is technically.
But I don't want to blame, and that's for you, and that's where women have to have their own mind, because I don't think that so much the masculinity part, the toxicity part of a woman trying to be a king. I just think that women had to play certain positions, and they have been so brainwashed to feel like this is more. I guess it is. That's what I'm saying. I guess it is. Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
I'm not saying that the woman is toxic. I'm saying that they're following these toxic ideas.
Absolutely.
Just like men, and don't even realize that they're doing it. Right. That's the thing about being a part of a society.
Absolutely.
A lot of times you don't even realize that you are doing the same things that everybody else is doing when you think you're so out of the box. And we're really not.
And then
you know what I'm saying? You don't even realize it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then it goes in the circle of the hamster wheel.
So that's why it always feels like it's like triggering somebody when you say something is toxic, or when you're a whistleblower about things, because a lot of times you just don't even realize you're doing it. So when somebody is constantly saying to you, well, this is an example of that, and that is an example of it, it starts to feel like you're being attacked. What do you mean? Just like white people, when you start to say the things that they do are racist and or it's them using their privilege, they get very defensive right away. What do you mean? I'm not doing this. That's not that. But then when you start to draw their attention to it and say, but this is an example of your privilege, you may not realize you're doing it every day, but it is an example of it nonetheless. Right. So that's the concept of toxic masculinity. It's not to talk down or beat up or anything. It's just saying, like, societally, this is the norm. And we don't even realize men and women are moving in this every day.
But I think that's the word right there that you said about the toxicity. Like, it's not so much like we're saying, yet you're bad.
Yeah, no, it's not that.
But I think that some people, the way they convey it, makes it seem like it's bad. And then that's when men start to feel attacked again because
I mean, it's just showing you the things that you're doing.
Right. But this is how we're saying it. This is how we're saying it. And you have some people out there, and this is good because toxic is a word. When something isn't, when you're not doing something and it's not so well or whatever the case may, it can be toxic, whatever it is. So when people push this narrative of toxic being bad and talking down to it instead of trying to heal and say, listen, the reason why this is toxic maybe it came from your childhood or we understand. You got to come with compassion and love. We understand why you're like this because your daddy's was taught that men don't cry. Men don't show emotions. Men don't back down from, men don't walk away. You know how many dudes got shot and killed when they could have just walked away from some dumb shit? But then you got your toxic masculine friends saying, man, fuck this nigga, man. And you got your life taken away because your shoes got stepped on. Because it's because your ego and that toxic masculinity part of you that you were taught by your grandpa and your daddy, that's saying that you can't walk away. And this is so good. And that's where the toxicity comes from. That's what it is. This is so good.
It's just something that is going to be, you're using this idea of what a person is against them almost. You know what I'm saying? Because it is just an idea. Exactly. It's just an idea. There's nothing that says that this is what man is and this is what woman is. This is all shit that we perceived and concocted. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we have functions, of course, bodily and biologically, but in terms of like how you are to behave every day, that's a whole nother thing that people came up with. We all came up with that. These are best practices of how humans do things. We made that up.
Remember this saying? I'm sorry. Remember this saying? This is so back in the day, but women should be seen and not heard. Like who? And let me just step back. And when I start, do you ever sit, especially when I'm in my, you know, and my portal is open even more? I would sit back and just listen to all these cliches, and I said, who the hell made up women should be seen and not heard? Like we just some dumbasses, some trophy wives, and you should just look at our beauty and that's it.
I mean,
that's who taught us that? Toxic masculinity.
That's toxic masculinity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is. It's using. You know what I'm saying?
Women adapted that,
of course, because
my mother.
Think about it. What else could you do as a woman? See, here's the bottom line in all of this. The only thing that men have always had over us is a physical strength. That's it. That's literally it. Other than that, we have no difference in intellectual capacity, blah, blah, blah. Yes, physical strength, you are superior.
But they do think
if you want to say,
from us. You can think.
Everybody thinks differently. That's fine. We all have our own ways of trying to break down things or whatever it is.
Men are more logical, I believe.
I'm not even going to say that part of it either because that starts to add into things. You have women that are great strategists and all type of stuff just as much as a man can be. It just like that's another part of a framing of what how a man is supposed to be and how a woman is supposed to be. I don't really think that that's the case. It's just something that we added onto it. But in terms of physicality, yes. So basically all they ever really did was just smack the shit out of you, drag you by your hair, and this is what you're going to do. Like that's pretty much how this all went down because there's there's nothing else to say that, you know what I mean? What else could it be that
somebody said
that we got put in those positions?
The queen is the best protection of the king. This is where I get a little shady at. I believe there is a difference. And I feel like sometimes society tries to group men and women like, oh, it's not the difference, but just the physical and that's it. And I don't feel that way. When I am around masculine energy and a male's energy is different from being around a female's energy, no matter how different we think, no matter who's physically stronger or not. There is something different in the way they walk, in the way they talk, in the way I feel like I'm protected.
But that's all biologically, though. That's protected, from your biological makeup.
Not just physical. Not just physical for me. I'm talking about the essence of a man. That's why even when a man is a feminine man, he still does not have the essence of a woman. No matter how feminine he is, most feminine men do not act like women. They have their own type of femininity. Women act a certain way. I don't have friends that be like, how you doing? Unless we're trying to be funny. They have their own femininity, and it's not the essence of a woman. So when I'm sitting next to a man, it's not just biologically as far as like their physical strength. It is their being as a man. And I think once we start getting that line mixed up, like we all the same, I don't want to be in that box. I am not the same as, I don't feel like a man is just different from me because of physical strength. It is his whole everything. It's his being.
Well, I think I feel like that in terms of people. I don't think that in terms, I mean, I understand and respect everything you got to say. I feel that, you know what I mean? Yeah. I just feel personally, you know, that is, I feel like I speak from spirit. So we all are the same. And I do understand. Yeah, of course. Yeah. When you meet a person, that's another human being. And the only difference I do feel in a person is the physicality, generally speaking. I do understand that we all have different upbringings, different cultural, so all of these things make up each person and how they're going to respond to things and move in their space of what their understanding of what masculine or feminine is. So I understand and respect all of that. It's just mainly, for me, the reason I said all of that to begin with is the fact of why we were set in a space of being seen and not heard is because of the physicality. Yeah. Because they could move us around physically. So this is what you're going to do. And
they think that our minds are more weaker because women, yes, we do have emotional men, but I'm saying overall, usually women are we're more emotional.
This is all because of jealousy. You do know though, right?
What do you mean?
I think this is jealousy. I think that the initial reason that women were put to the second seat as opposed to, you know, where we are, which is directly next to men, is the fact of jealousy. Our connection with spirit, our connection with the planet, our connection in terms of being portals and spaces for children to grow.
That's why some people think that black women are God.
Yeah,
I understand.
We're the most closely connected, absolutely.
Even the cross of God, the Ankh and everything is basically a woman's womb.
Yeah, it's
our
womb space.
So and even in religious texts, how they leave women out of these books so much. And I'm like, so you mean to tell me women weren't that important in none of these books?
So there's I have a book.
But we're going to talk, how many more minutes we got, babe?
I want to just say this real quick. I have a book.
That's another topic.
I know, it's a whole other topic. I have a book called When God Was a Woman. Because of course, let's think about our most primitive minds worship the sun, worship the water, the grass, all this type of stuff that we could see every day. If you just first human here, you witness somebody is impregnated and now they grow a belly and they birth this child out through themselves or however it was at the time, right? Because there's another conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you would also worship that. So all of the first figures that people created were of what? Women, wombs, women pregnant, women nursing, women.
Even when you look at the hieroglyphics.
God, exactly. When God was a woman and they erased all of that. Yes. They burned those temples. Yes. They erased whatever type of writings and stuff they did on purpose.
You know that the hidden books that has
on purpose.
A lot of the hidden books are with the Vatican. And we can get deep into that. Yeah. And a lot of it does have women in it. And it also tells you, which a lot of people who study enlightenment, that it is us.
Of course it is.
So we come from God. That's why I'm not God. I'm not God the creator, but I am made in the image and likeness of God.
Absolutely.
So I am a part of God. I am God body. It is the God in me that don't make me smack people sometimes.
Amen.
Okay? But anyway, we're going to wrap this up, baby. Okay? This is the 5th episode.
Is it? Or 6?
Maybe that's 6. We're going to find out, guys. Okay? Yeah. We've had fun. Listen, I told you.
Heart over my face.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's like, hey,
we can talk about it all, honey. Okay? We might bring it to a little naughtiness. We might bring it to a little niceness. We're going to bring it intellectually, intelligence. Want to thank Names. Thank you so much, Rico. You can follow them on Instagram as well. It's, it's 10,000 hours, 10, baby.
10,000 hours.
So what?
Network.
We're here.
Shout out to you guys. This is Moosh Boosh, guys. We appreciate you.
And we love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to share this on a watch party. And don't forget us on YouTube, baby. Okay? It'll be ready by next week. So support. I think y'all been supporting. Mama loves you.